Sure. Roll call.
Sean Hannon.
Here.
Jim Fleischman.
Here.
Art Plus.
Yes.
Brandon Pike.
Here.
Tricia Hoffman.
Here.
Kate Utah. Here. Amanda Carroll. Here. Corey Higgins.
Here.
Shannon King. Would everyone please stand for the pledge? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There's no need for an executive session to begin our meeting this evening, which brings us to our preliminary matters, the approval of the agenda. Consideration of a motion to accept the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Jim and Brandon, all in favor? 8-0. We begin with three presentations this evening, all largely focused on the operations of our district. And up first, we have a presentation from First Student on transportation.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for having us
Evening.
over here. Got a little presentation for you. I'll just keep it very brief as possible on some of the high points for us. Just the introduction, if anyone doesn't know myself or any of the staff or new faces. I'm Matt Brock, the manager over at First Student. Carol Olson is our dispatcher and safety supervisor. We know as a dispatcher, I'm gonna say she's like kind of like work group. So that's our introduction for right now. I want to hit, meet the team. Thank you, sorry, who's doing this? Can we go one more slide? All right, I just want to hit a little bit of numbers for you, everyone. If anyone wasn't sure, our transportation provided for Pioneer is 250 square miles. Currently, right now, we're transporting 1,444 students. You have 35 AM and PM routes right now, not including like your BOCES and Central Baptist and all that stuff, like your major routes. We have currently 52 vehicles in our fleet. Last year, we performed 520 athletic trips. That's a lot. Miles traveled last year was 873,000, almost a million. All vehicles are equipped with GPS tracking and real-time visibility. And I know we launched out the first new app last year, and feedback I'm getting from school and parents, it went pretty well. A couple hiccups when just someone lost a signal or anything, but that was pretty good. Did want to announce one brand new thing for everyone this year. October or November, we're gonna have Samsara cameras installed on all of our buses. And it's not gonna be more for anything to do with the students. It's gonna help with seeing what our drivers and staff is doing. And it'll help litigation for accidents. So just for a quick instance, that Samsara technology is gonna be AI. It's gonna pick up if our drivers have a seatbelt on. It's gonna pick up rolling stops. It's gonna pick up if they went over railroad cross and didn't perform the right stop. Gonna be really neat. We're one of the last ones in West New York area to finally get it, but we have our installation date. I believe it's right around Thanksgiving time. So that'll be coming out to you, and it's no cost to anyone in Pioneer or anything like that. It's something that First Students doing with all the buses, because that's gonna help our staff. And next one. Routes, a lot of people are asking how often all the routes are looked at, so I wanted to start off by saying generally, for a start for the school year, initially as a whole reroute. Every kid is touched and looked at, quarterly it's done, weekly basis, by the minute it can be done. If we feel there's something wrong with a safe stop or anything's wrong, or if there's a new kid added on, ads are done. We probably, as we get them in one meeting a week with our routing specialists. But they get changed and looked at all the time to be most efficient. I think this year we shaved off a few minutes on almost every single run. And this year we will start off the school year with no kind of split runs or anything. We have enough staff that every single lane will be going. It should keep times especially better at Arcade. That was a big thing going on last year. And the information on that comes in all the time. As soon as something comes in, we give it to, like I said, our routing analyst person. He makes the changes every single day. And we go through it and actually hand touch them and look at them, make sure the stops are safe, because you can tell the computer system that hey, this section of Route 98 is not a safe spot, but sometimes it'll plot the person to be on the wrong side of the road, we don't want to cross. That's when Daryl or Brittany or myself will actually go on with the routing person and make sure that those areas are safe stops. Next slide. Just some staffing numbers. We have 34 drivers right now ready to roll. One is on an LOA. So we would have been starting off even for the year with 35 routes. I do have a temporary driver I'm going to borrow from Fredonia to make us start off even staff. I have one part-time floater that can work a few days a week. That also helps towards that number. There are 3 people currently in for training right now to be licensed and a bunch ready to roll where I actually have too many trainings or trainers right now. So as I said, it's actually a really good thing. Support staff, you're looking at us right now. Daryl's always certified to go out and drive 2 as we needed. We have 9 bus aides right now, currently 2 technicians, and we're hiring a 3rd technician in charge out of Pennsylvania. They'll hopefully come on board in a few weeks. From a recruitment standpoint, it helped our numbers this year to get more people to apply because our student launched out a very attractive sign-on bonus, $10,000 to anybody that's fully credentialed to drive, which was huge. I gained a couple people from neighboring school districts, and $7,500 for anybody that's just walking in the door.
So that's the only thing that's changed in the recruitment aspect from last year or the past year?
More local advertisement, social media, a little bit more of the extra this year because last year, I don't know why they were being a little standoffish on the social media. A lot more social media this year, a lot more ground events. I know Maple Fest was actually out there at Maple Fest handing out stuff, and we've gotten a lot more stuff where we take the actual things with the QR and been out to the community a little bit more to hand out, so it's easier for that person to find. I'm flying to Delavan, not just anywhere in First Student. So that's helped, but significantly, those numbers pushed a lot. I mean, that is good. That is a good chunk. I did have a conversation with Brent and Nick too. I said that first time I've seen it here, and I've only been here 5 years. It's finally hitting to the younger crowd a little bit better. I think a lot of the younger people are understanding that actually it could be a decent job and reflect good home time with their kids. So we've seen the age group come down a little bit on that too, and I think that's helped dramatically. So I anticipate having a good start, might even start for September 1, but in extra plus staff for October 1, which I wanted to be at for September 1, but we might just take us 30 more days. But it's looking good. Next slide. Commitment to student safety. You want to hit down just what everyone goes through?
Yeah, I mean, for the drivers, comprehensive there, annually, we have to take them out and evaluate them. One for the state, one for the company. Annual defensive drive, which we have to either follow them or ride with them with students on board. The driver compliance and monitoring, we monitor their driving records at all time, and then, as you guys know, working for the state, it's always constantly monitored. If anything comes up, we will get notified. Physicals once a year, sometimes a little bit more depending on the person, but for the most part, DOT physical every year, state and company mandated training, continuous development. We have 8 mandatory meetings we have to do a year. 3 are from the state, 5 by the company. And the other thing we have is the bus drills coming up. We have to do 3 mandated drills per New York State. The first one will be within the first couple weeks of school, so we will be getting with the building principals on that one. And then for like the new drivers, as we're saying, we've got all these ones coming up. 43.5 hours minimum training requirement just to get their license in New York State and federally. 15.5 hours of classroom, 11 hours of skills training. And then there's somebody, they got so many hours of road training they got to do. So we're pretty much on there. And to touch on that one for the new driver, in all the years I've been here, and you guys know, some of you guys know I've been around here for pretty much ever. This is probably the best I've seen it with the staffing numbers, with the people wanting to work.
Hey, just out of curiosity, so the new drivers, are you able to recruit many of them from the local area, or do they drive in quite a bit?
Combination.
Pretty good combination. I would say most of the people that I interview, they're anywhere between 10 minutes away up to 45 minutes away. We get some from Friendship, Salamanca. It's just pretty much surrounding. It just
Down near
depends.
Hinsdale.
It depends. One of the ones we just took from Letchworth, like she's in that area, but has no problem with that kind of commute. They're mostly local, but like you get your, maybe an Eden one here, or like you said, that new one right now is Friendship, so it's not too far. And we're pretty transparent right from the get-go to ask them, yeah, good, reliable transportation, whether it's not gonna bother you coming, that far, because that's gonna make a big bearing on who's gonna be dependent.
Right.
And we do expect them to be to work at least 15 to 20 minutes early due to them being such a distance away. We do
Yeah.
kind of recommend that.
And I've set the bar since I've been in there for the last 5 years that I have no problem paying extra for people to be there. Because
Sure.
being there early is on time. So. Just wanted you to see some of the hours, what they have to go through to get that. That's just to get a road test. That's just to pass a road test. There's still a lot more to go, do with the company, and by the time they're signed off, from walking in the door, from applying to the point that they're actually driving the kiddos, you're looking about 6 to 8 weeks. That's why it takes that long.
And that's providing we can get a road test with DMV.
And that's the hardest thing right now too, and I know every single company as a contractor or a school district is running into right now is there's less and less road examiners that can actually do tests, and it's wasn't ready for sharing some facts, but we're going that route. The last couple of road tests, we've sent them all the way to Rochester. That's how, Warsaw right here, and you can't get in it for sometimes 6 weeks, so. It's hard, the whole thing's a struggle across the board. But we're trying to do our best and get creative, and Shannon, our trainer, does not mind, and I think the last time it was in Kodak's parking lot.
Yep.
In Rochester for the last 2 road tests, but sometimes you can squeak out Niagara Falls. Rumor was they're bringing back the one in West Seneca, so that might help alleviate some of it too, so. The Orchard Park was a big one, so.
There is none in Cattaraugus.
Yeah. Just wanted to hit some of that for you. We go on to the next one. Preventive maintenance program. I'm not gonna spend a bunch of time on that. I just wanted you guys to have that. If anyone wants, we have paper PowerPoint that we can email to anybody. But I just wanted you to know though that first student is committed though, every bus, no matter if it's a van, the white van, you might see occasionally getting a couple of the stragglers. Every vehicle is coming in that shop within 5,000 miles or 3 months, whatever's first, no matter what. Really good maintenance program. Like I said, we have the 2 techs right now working on getting the tech in charge to start pretty soon. We want the next one. Okay, we just talked about some of that. We added 2 new drivers this summer that's ready for startup. 2 came off LOA, so that brought us back to the numbers on the other slide. Key improvements, we're gonna keep doing the best we can to do the route times, because that's gonna make it fair for all the buildings and all the teachers to not have to stay out there too long in the afternoon, especially for buses. The feedback on first view has been pretty positive, right? I don't
Yeah.
think
Even
there is
Even a lot of the students have actually downloaded the app and put it on there, and I have, from driving several runs, the kids like, I knew you were coming, it's on the app. So positive feedback, and then we call the parents, yeah, I'm watching.
so it's been pretty good. I haven't had too much negative on that, unless they're just depending on certain spots where they just have an outage and not getting. First thing is gonna prepare on always having decent, newer buses and vehicles for you guys. Staffing levels, like I said, we're working on, Sarah's on its way. We go to the next slide. Key operational challenges, definitely facing the district, not just district, it's state, it's nationwide shortage. I'm not letting off the gas pedal. I'm not gonna close any job requisitions down. We'll keep on trying to hire staff. Recruitment and retention, working on that all the time. Only know of 1 retirement coming up maybe for December, so I'm already planning on that one for you. Another operational problem is rising fuel cost and parts. A lot of people aren't understanding some of these parts for fixing these vehicles are an extreme challenge right now. The other one is just the large geographic area. I think everyone understands here how big the district is, and some of these runs take, 45 minutes to go gather a dozen kids, while another one gets 40 kids in a heartbeat because they're doing the village and has the apartments or one of the trailer parks. So it's hard to judge them sometimes coming in, because I know it kind of gets looked at and viewed that, well, why is this bus was gone for 45 minutes and has like, I could see 20 heads on there, but some of them people are, they're putting so many miles in to get that,
What bus lots would like have
Might have
55
50.
kids. But they're within just like an arcade in Delavan.
Yeah.
Where it's all the village stops and stuff.
The other challenge, athletics. I never want to have to ever say no, or I would never want Pioneer to ever have to take a forfeit because we don't have transportation. We haven't done it yet, and I don't have that on the plan at all to do it. I know we get stressed out at times and we try to get creative, and if one bus was going to Williamsville East and then there's a game at South, we might say, hey, you can, this one bus take the both, and if it can work, it can work. It's said, yeah, sometimes just 6 to 8 buses per day, and every time there's 6 to 8 runs from Sports Strip, everyone has to understand that 6 to 8 drivers off their own home school. That we have to come up with and try to figure out how to split runs now, just so everyone. Next slide. Well, you had one.
All right, our key areas going into the school year, we would like to continue our driver recruitment. We do have a very positive outreach for like our employees. We have also a $3,000 referral bonus for our employees. So we've actually had people referring them, and that's how we've also retained some of our new drivers as well. We do fleet replacement, which means every so many years, it's in our contract to update our fleet. Is it 10 years?
10 years.
Every 10 years, our buses get replaced. We do try to modernize our vehicles every chance we can, whether that means better seat belts, just better technology, just depending on what's in the criteria for first student that year. We do like the technology enhancements, such as like Samsara will be coming in, which will be a very positive outlook for first student going forward. Route optimization, we do that often. Daryl and I, just last week, sat down and rerouted all of the special education buses and made it so that these kids are only on the bus for about a half hour versus an hour, which is excellent. And we do have a strong district partnership. We do maintain communication with both pretty much everybody when we can, especially emails and everything. I'm pretty sure I've talked to quite a few of you on the phone almost on a daily basis. So it's really nice, and we really appreciate all of us working together as a team going forward. It's been really nice to work with everybody. I enjoy it, honestly.
Sure, as a keyword in there, that last one, I'll just hit on it, you said it's the transparent part is huge. It means nothing to me as long as we're all transparent together and we can all accomplish what we need to do together, and that's a big focus of me. Closing message, like I said, safe transportation. Hope we never have any accident any single day. Safe every route, every day, not just the whole year. I mean, for going forward. Reliable service. We'll hopefully give you everything you guys need, so the kids can make it there, attending everything, including McKinney Bentos and anyone else that's looking to come forward for Pioneer. And for performance wise, communication and teamwork, it kind of ties into that last one with the transparency and communication has been great. And continuous improvement. We're always looking to use the technology to enhance the safety and relook at everything and use our VersaTran software and work with our routing specialists to make sure that constantly we dip into these routes all the time to make sure we can, if we see one's coming in heavy or a report from a principal saying, hey, this one seems like it's here sitting 15 minutes ahead of time when the other one's coming late. Well, obviously that's something I want to look at. So we'd say, hey, maybe we take a few off this bus, put it on the next. So we have that technology to help us with that too. Keep us on track. So I want to thank you guys and hope that has everything. I know you can share that deck with anybody that wants the full breakdown or anything. Looking forward to a good startup. Yes, sir.
So the board's heard from concerned parents that have students outside the district that have busing from our community into those schools and the long wait times. And we've kind of heard about this the past school year, and I'm just wondering if there's been any improvement to their situation or going into the new school year, if there will be.
What do you mean the kids outside of the district? What do you mean?
The run to a Mac.
That's,
Oh.
and that says a lot right there.
Okay, so that one I will address, and if you want to get into that now too, but
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing that takes precedence is our students first. So arcade buses, because of the split routes, they were showing up late. Almost every day, the middle school, things like that. Immaculate will still be able to do, we switched from the centralized pickup point to door to help accommodate those parents so they don't have to leave and go to a central pickup point. At this time, even though we are almost fully staffed, we're gonna leave it at one bus for now, and then in the future, if we could add a few more drivers on, then we could look forward to helping that out. But currently, as it stands, we're gonna keep our service as it was before.
Okay,
So do we think
And
that,
I know there was a couple families that were just a little upset of their time. They have to understand it's 35 minutes to leave the district to get there.
From the,
So-
from one person's house, yeah.
Right, so it's just, it's a, if you're at the beginning of the run, and it goes for any runs we have, even like going out that Elm Street, if you were like the first couple being picked up, you kind of feel like you're the target of my kids run the longest. Because you're on at the very beginning, but to have to route that way would make no sense to go to East Aurora and pick up the ones that live farthest away last, so. Work with Brent on that, we just got done saying if you really wanna do the second one and give me till like probably October 1st, I'll make the second one work if you want to pay for that half. It will cut the number down.
But the Immaculate bus is still sitting under an hour from the time of pickup at Central, all the.
With a couple of centralized
Yeah.
pickups.
Yes.
A couple
It
of
still sits under an hour,
Sits
which
just
is-
under an hour, yep.
Mhm.
Where if you do all home pickups, it adds quite a bit more time in there.
But I'll be prepared if you want to put on a second one for that, I would just take, it's not just probably be ready for September 1. I just don't want to affect everything else right now.
so would we say that door to door has improved their situation then?
Yeah, so I got a few phone calls from parents over the summer asking for us to reinstate the door to door. So we went ahead with the door to door with the understanding that the routes are gonna be a little longer. And if they shouldn't be as long as last year, because from my understanding, a few kids have graduated from Immaculate, so they won't be attending, so there'll be some few less kids to pick up as well, which should help.
Thank you.
can you say a word about what kind of effort goes into supervision on the bus? And I know it's a lot about being a safe driver, but what kind of practices and training and is there in terms of like, you know, controlling the temperature in the room on a bus? Does that make sense?
Well, they are taught to do, try to de-escalate any kind of situation. You're obviously not taught.
Is it an issue or is it not? Is behavior on a bus not an issue and that's a silly question?
No, I wouldn't say it's not. It's just, I don't think it's as heavy
Not
as
as
I've
major
ever seen it, but it can be sometimes and it's, I'm not gonna lie to, it's usually on the shuttles.
Yeah, the
It's on
shuttles.
shuttles.
Most of them are on the shuttles. We do have a handful that, with other ones that we usually work right directly with the building principals on, saying, hey, we're having problems with this one here. And they do work with us.
You mean the shuttles from here to the elementary schools?
Correct.
Kind of
Seems to
free
be
for all.
one-
I really started off just like a issue with passes to know. Then it was when you would try to have any kind of structure to it, then there was kickback and then the drivers went, so I thought you said, don't get involved with trying to deal with them. So a little bit of cleanup on that, but
We did minimize the amount of students that are allowed on a bus during the shuttles. We have sometimes 2 to 3 shuttles per school, so.
Right.
Depending on how many students, we make sure that it sits at 40 students only per bus instead of the full capacity.
towards the end of last year, we
Yeah.
had three in the summer.
Because we noticed the less students on, the less, the more we could control, so, and I mean, the shuttles were still getting there on time, we built them into routes so that they're actually there by the pickup time, and
Usually
Station
without the
becomes quite
splits, they'll be
efficient.
all right assigned right in there, so we should be able to be a lot better on that.
Mhm.
It's just if we need the second or third bus, when you get too many kids and you get the other ones, that's where it takes a little bit longer, because we have to wait for the next drivers to get free from their run, the next closest ones to get in. But it did help a lot with when we reinstated 27 toward the end of the year last year, that put a dedicated shuttle for arcade, that helped us out a lot.
Hope that kind of generically answered. It kind of depends. That's like a base by base,
Yeah, well, I
It
think
seems-
it's interesting that it's the shuttles, but that kind of makes sense to me.
It is, because maybe
You're
it's
packing a
not
lot
that,
of
it's
kids
that
in.
not that continuity phase every single,
Yeah.
from the AM to PM driver, and then they see someone else and hey, I get away with everything else. But I have to say, other than that, the actual lanes actually been a lot better for me.
Through the company at First Student, do you guys have a fleet of electric buses at this moment?
Us here,
Not here.
First is rocking them everywhere, have more heavily in Canada right now, but they're being utilized everywhere. It's got a heavy presence, and I know all the proper paperwork and applications have been filled out with the appropriate people in First Student to deal with that for you guys. they've been in touch, I believe, with Brent on that one, right?
Any feedback you care to share?
Did this to me last year too. Not really. Everything's changing and evolving daily.
Are there many districts in New York State that have jumped on, or? I'm not aware of too many.
Off the top of my head, see, I got Mark over there. We share the same values. Albion Lakeshore, I know I can vouch for, they've ordered.
Yeah, they were, I know Lakeshore was like jumped, they were like one of the first kind of.
Harry's been on that one for the last few years.
Mhm.
So if you really, if I can just do something like related, so they'll hold me two things. So when I talked to like Perry a couple years ago and like how'd that work out with that first one, and it spends more time in the shop than it does on the road. And then last year, if everyone saw, he kind of got lambasted about his drivers were being told to not use the heater as much to save battery, which was complete. Someone was just making that story up, but pros and cons, I just think everyone has, there's a lot to look at in that stuff. It may be a great thing. There's people in the world that don't believe in it, but there's a lot more to it. There's infrastructures, First Student has a lot of leased buildings, which means leased, and the landlords say yes to an infrastructure. There's so many open avenues, fire companies. Is everyone gonna be ready to put out fires for battery fires? There's so much to it, and I'm not really the right person, and I'm probably sure my own bosses would tell me to not say anything negative right now, so I won't, but it's ready to roll whenever Pioneer or anyone else decides to need it. It's there. It's there. I'll stand to the side with Brent and just say, you know, it's here. It's hard. There's a lot to it. You got a big bus right now, whether if it's propane, gas, or diesel, that's $115,000, and then the same bus, but then making electric is $415,000. With half the runtime. I shouldn't even, okay. Just giving out a fact.
Yeah.
But it's right in there when you're all ready for it. So. I'm
And
just saying, it's heavy. First Student is a huge promoter of it. It's heavy. It's really big in Canada, which went against everything I originally thought. I thought it cold and I'm like that can't work, but it's very heavy in Canada.
anything else for Matt, Daryl, and Brittany? One more? Go ahead.
One more. I just want to say it's been awesome working with you guys. And thank you for dealing with me the past year. You guys don't have an easy job. I know you guys get a lot of phone calls. They're not always pleasant, but you handle them very well. You de-escalate. And these guys pointed out that they didn't miss any sports runs, and that's pretty huge, especially with field trips. It's stressful at times that there's not gonna be enough buses, but like they said, they've never had to cancel. We've never had to forfeit a sports game, and that's because of these guys up here. And another thing is too, is that Daryl and Matt hop in buses and will drive if there is a shortage, and they will help out. So they're willing to get that 30 as well, and that's huge. So I want to just say thank you, guys.
Thank you for working with us.
You have all our gratitude. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good day.
Good going. Thank you.
Thanks.
If anyone wants. We're done, man.
Did everybody get a presentation? Passed them out earlier, just want to make sure everybody has one.
Yes, thank you.
My picture. Drivers were taking their business about, you had 1 minute. I said, well, okay. I hope you got one.
Thank you.
Nice try, driver. Do you need one?
I got it. So as always, an awful lot happening at Village Grounds during the summer months. We'll jump into the capital project update. Just a reminder, the first slide tells the story of what we're getting done this summer as part of the 2024 capital project. So in Arcade, we're in the playground replacement is going really well. Few tweaks to finish up there, and that'll be ready for the grand opening September 1st. September 1st, right, Nick? Carrie had planned September 1st.
For orientation day, right? So that'll be ready. It's,
11:30 or so?
yeah, it's in great shape. That's a good point. Did she reach out to the school board? She was gonna invite whoever wanted to stop by for that. She's not here, so I'll just throw that out there. Grand opening.
Make a note to
September first.
Or send a reminder.
Arcade playground. It looks awesome. You can see it from the parking lot. If you're interested and want to drive over and take a look, it's pretty awesome. Along with the playground replacement, obviously, we revamped the parking lot back there. That's moving right along really well too. Arcade also has, it's our first building for a full clock and public address system replacement. We got new lockers in first grade, on the first floor of first grade, also near second grade. So all of the lockers in that building have been updated over the past 10 years. The secure vestibule, that's under construction right now. We've also updated the elevator. We've had different troubles with the elevator in that building over the past few years, and it's basically in need of a pretty serious upgrade, and those upgrades are going on right now, replacing the control system that run the elevator there. Hopefully limit the amount of breakdowns we've had over the years. At the middle school, we've got the window replacement, which is ongoing. It's a full window replacement in that building. That is slated to be done within the next couple of weeks, except for the hallway windows. If you're familiar with the middle school, you walk down the hallway by the library. The east and west side, those big curtain wall windows will not be completed in time for school, so there'll be temporary windows and filled in that location for a few weeks into the school year. That work would be completed on second shift. Pool upgrades are ongoing right now as well. And they're also doing window film installation around the building, which I've been told will be completed. It's a security window film for the outside of the building. That will be completed for the school year. At the high school, we have the district office expansion, which includes the update for the curriculum office. We also have window film installation that is ongoing as well. And then obviously the big one is the multi-purpose field, which is taking place right now. So these pictures, again, if you have an opportunity and want to stop by Arcade, I took a bunch of different pictures and I wasn't really happy with any of them. They don't really do it justice to what you're getting over there. Playground is really awesome. But again, that's on track for that grand opening on orientation day. And the new parking lot is on track to be paved by the end of this week. Then we'll work on striping and getting that ready for the first day of school. The PA and clock replacement, that's moving right along too. Classrooms will all have new clocks and PA will be replaced as well. And that's on target to be pretty much wrapped up by the end of this week with testing and training going on next week for the new clock and PA system. It's a nice upgrade for that building, and we're learning a lot about the PA and clock system, and because this system will also be the one that goes into all of the other buildings.
So do all the classrooms have a clock like that is
They
the
do.
picture?
Yeah, now that's not a great picture because there was testing going on that clock, but that's a message board and a clock. So when you have any event going on in the building, a lockdown, a lockout, a fire drill, it shows up and displays on the message boards as well as the clocks in all the hallways. Secure vestibule, again, this is ongoing. This is kind of a total gut job in that Arcade vestibule area basically created an entryway where you have, it's another fishbowl opportunity that we've created around the district. We did it at Delavan and here at the high school, obviously, we're just kind of whittling away at these. That's on target to be completed before orientation. So as I was building this presentation last week and into this week, there is a bit of an issue at Arcade with this vestibule with the exterior doors. The framing was built for 7-foot doors and we have 8-foot doors going. So there's probably going to have to be temporary doors in place when we start the school year until they can get the framing replaced and the correct doors in place. Bottom line is they have no choice. We're bringing 400 kids through those doors. On September 1st, they're going to have it ready for us to use. It just might not be the finished product. And the elevator upgrades are also ongoing and that's another one that is non-negotiable, has to be done before the school year. So next, lockers on the first floor. These came out really nice in the first grade area. We did the renovation of the classrooms last year, and this year we went into the hallways and completed the locker renovation. We also replace the lockers down by, that kind of are in the corridor in second grade. The only thing that may not be done on time is you can see that the top of the lockers there require a trim piece. It came in, but it's the wrong trim, so they're rebuilding the trim. That may not be done in time for the school year. Right now, that's just a flat top. It's safe. It's just not complete. And I've heard there's a chance it'll be done before school year, but not 100%. Next, window replacement at the middle school. It's really hard to take an exciting picture of a new window, but here we go. So these windows will be done by, I'm pretty sure they said, within a couple of weeks, they'll have the windows done, except for the courtyards, which you can see here. Courtyards used to be a full window wall. Now there's a knee wall in place with windows that go up from the knee wall. And that, we had to actually steal some material for the arcade vestibule, which was a little more critical than the courtyard windows, to complete that job due to some poor measuring from one of the subcontractors. So we're moving along with this, but it's just, some of this isn't gonna be exactly perfect when we open the doors. Middle school locker replacement. This is moving along really well, and I mean, they may even be done with the locker replacement by the end of next week, which is what we're hoping for. These lockers came out really nice, and I think it'll be a great upgrade for the middle school kids. Next, pool upgrades. A lot of cosmetic work is going on in the pool right now. That work, you can see the entire pool, there's scaffolding in the entire pool in the middle school. They took out the ceiling. There will be all new lights, sound treatments. This work is ongoing and will be completed October 15th. By their target date is October 15th. I'm trying to improve that because our PE swim program usually starts around November 1st, and I need some time to work on a pool mechanical, so I gotta fill the pool to do that. So I'm really trying to get them to improve this date, but there's things going on in the pool with properly insulating it, because we did take out the lid, the ceiling, and that opens up some of the exposed areas that were built originally in the building that need to be addressed with some spray foam insulation, some things like that. So this work is ongoing. It's just, gonna take a little longer. Our district office upgrades to include the curriculum office. Again, really difficult to give you a good picture of that. We could walk through there if anyone has time and wants to do that later, but this is moving right along. It's gonna be a real nice space for the curriculum office. The IT office has already been relocated. Just some finishing touches going on in their new office space. Casework went in today. They've got to get their doors and their furniture. They're working off temporary furniture now, and then that space will be complete. So the IT office is really close. The curriculum office will be completed sometime early fall. Onto the multi-purpose field. So our first field closest to the stadium, the target date for that field is to be completed by the end of September. We'll start to see some field turf being installed right around Labor Day, maybe a little bit before then. So that field, they're really looking to have that done by the end of September. And the rest of the field work, which is a ton, they're looking to have that complete by late November. Next, please. So this is half of that complex from the top of the page. I took a photograph of that. You can see back in this corner, footers in place for the backstop for baseball. This is a very large water retainage area to allow water. So now when they put the drainage in, the drainage will be focused to different areas here, and then another retainage area there to allow the water to drain through. This is all based on test boring and other requirements that, to allow for enough drainage off-site. Next, please. So this is the other half of the complex. You can see the softball footer for the softball backstop in that back corner there. Over here would be where the throwing area would be when the project is complete. Next. This is a closer picture of the backstop for baseball. Go ahead, Tom. And then in the distance, try to show up a little closer, is the softball backstop. You can see some, these here are caissons for concrete to hold the metal poles for all of the netting. So if you look here, this will be netting all the way down through here for foul balls and everything else, keep everything in play. Go back one, would you, Dalton? And then all along this, the baseball field back toward the football field will also be netting. The backstops have, if you've been to a multi-purpose turf baseball or softball field, you probably see what I'm talking about. The netting is very tall and it angles out over the field to keep foul balls away from our neighbors' yards, let's put it that way. There you go. These are the water. This is what that looked like with the water retention. When they put that in, that was a very large project. That's what they look like completed. Oh, good, Dalton, thank you. Remaining 2024 project work, stuff that will be done next year and then during the course of this school year, but mostly next summer. Arcade full window replacement, that's a monster job. That'll take place next summer. The PA sound system and clock upgrades for the high school and middle school will also be done next summer. And then the window film, we already talked about, that is ongoing, but it should be done at the high school and middle school this year. A lot of that work for Delavan, we're waiting for more information from the state. We keep submitting different applications for our smart school project. That's how that work will be completed. Next year, hopefully, we get the answers back from the state and we can complete the same work at Delavan. PA, clock, window film would complete the upgrades for that building. Any questions about capital project?
Can you go back to the multi-purpose
Sure.
field, slide, the blueprint? Yeah. What's the bleacher situation? I'm
There are
just
no-
kidding. No.
No. This is designed to, it's very similar to what you do now. You bring your lawn chair. To this facility. That may be something that we look to add in the future. We have talked about that, adding bleacher setups in the future.
Yeah, this was the big bite, I guess, we had to get through, just with the cost allowances and the way the aid works, but we're prepping it for future installation of lighting. And it is designed so it can accommodate some seating, especially around the softball and the baseball diamond in the future as well. So
In
something
my
we hope
opinion,
to.
Sorry, Nick, I didn't mean to talk over there, but in talking with Chris Edwards and what I've seen at multiple sporting venues, at multiple sporting events is even bleachers, permanent type bleachers, people would rather be in their lawn chair if they can help it. You know what I mean? So we've even gotten away from, we used to put portable bleachers out front at the soccer field. We've gotten away from that. People would just rather bring their lawn chair. It's more comfortable. So we're looking at different ways to create seating, to make it comfortable for folks. If we do bleachers, we're gonna have to do it just to put out metal bleachers. I don't know,
But there is space. What you're saying is no bleachers, but there is space for spectators.
oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's quite a bit of space for spectators.
I think, go ahead, Corey.
I think Nick touched on it, but is this not designed for lighting yet? Or that's not worked into the project?
It is not worked into the project, but the way they're going, we spent a lot of time on lighting when we were talking to our designers and trying to figure this out. And the way that LED lighting has gone is what I've been told from our electrical engineers, that we can light the facility from the perimeter. So when we first started talking about this, we were worried about locating a light pole. How are we gonna do that? Right off the soccer field, where are we gonna go with this? It's gonna look goofy. And he's gotten to a point, our electrical engineer has gotten to a point where he's confident. And some of the lights that we've upgraded just in our parking lot, I see what he's talking about. They throw so much light that he's pretty confident that we can do what we need to do from the perimeter of the fields, which I think is great, because there's no place that we can put a light pole in the middle that's gonna be convenient for these fields.
And so you have space, like that whole area is not carpeted then? How much
Correct.
space around the perimeter do we have?
Can you go to the next slide, please? The one after that. All right, one more. We're getting there. Okay, so this is the backstop. you have all this space in the tennis court here. So we still have quite a bit of space. I mean, there's a lot of room to work with. You'll have dugouts here and, batting cages and things like that, but there's still quite a lot of room back there to work with.
Nick, I can't remember, other than conduit, because they're gonna just drop some conduit in there potentially to pull wire for future lights. But is there anything else? I can't remember any bases or anything, just the
That's all
conduit,
we're
right?
working
Yeah.
on. Yep.
So we talked a little bit about possibly some elevated areas or in the future elevated areas where at least where if you bring a lawn chair, you can set it up a little higher.
Yep.
Number one, or if you forget your lawn chair, you can kind of sit on it.
Yep. So similar to East Aurora and some of these other fields, we've done
Yes,
those
yes,
tiers.
correct.
That was in the plans and then it had to get backed out. It was gonna go along, if you go back to the main, it was gonna go between the stadium and this field here. They were trying to elevate that there due to, I think it had a lot to do with, you know, the field elevation compared to the stadium and trying to marry that all, and the amount of work that would have taken was just really cost prohibitive at this point. Does that make sense?
Is this field gonna be kind of segregated from the football field?
Yes.
Because I'm just thinking of like bathroom situation.
Mhm.
So is that still gonna be the only facility, so they're gonna have to go?
It is.
And around.
That bathroom facility was set up with this facility in mind, with gates that open into the bathroom facility.
Okay,
So that, it is the bathroom facility, yes.
yeah, so there will be an opening.
Yep, there is. It's already built in, the gates there, it's ready for use. Any other capital project questions? Okay, next. Capital, or our equipment replacement plan, as always, replace a pickup truck every year. That's still the plan for this year. When we do that, we'll be able to get rid of our 2020 F-350. We also will replace one of our grounds front mounted lawnmower and snow blower. You can go to the next page, please. So the equipment replacement plan for 26-27, we just talked about pickup truck, the grounds and snow blower. That's in the funding for 26-27. But I also wanted to let the board know that with some funding from 25-26, we were able to replace our courier van. And we also much needed upgrade for transportation, our 15-passenger bus that we've had. We're gonna eliminate one of the buses, so we'll trade and sell one, and then we'll buy a new bus for our in-house transportation that our department does. That was out of previous year things. This, I wanted to show you next year's plan because this is a big one. We're still evaluating what to do with our Freightliner dump truck. We're still evaluating. Kevin is working on different plans for, is this absolutely necessary? Do we need this Freightliner dump truck? Right now, we'll say yes, it is, but we're looking at other alternatives because for me, and I know Kevin feels the same way, it's really difficult to have a piece of equipment that you only use for 4 months and as a boat anchor for the rest of the year. So we've really tried over the years to get to a point where we're buying equipment that's functional all year long. So we're looking at different options for this. This may push even into another year if it has to, until we can figure out exactly the right fit for us. And it may end up being another Freightliner or another dump truck. But we really want to make sure we get that one right. That's a big price tag. And then, yeah,
So what are you using that dump truck for now for the 4 months?
for snow removal.
Snow removal.
Yeah, 4 or 5, whatever snow removal is. It's a workhorse during those 4 or 5 months, but it's not all that functional for us the rest of the year.
Isn't good for
It isn't good for it. So we want to make sure we're looking at that and finding, over the years, like I said, we've gotten to a point where we replace equipment that's only used for snow removal with equipment that we can find to use all year. We're really looking at different options for this.
And the reason for it was because it could push more snow.
Yes.
Because of dump trucks,
Yes.
because of the road.
Yeah, it pushes an awful lot of stuff. And its capacity to bring salt onto campus was a big deal as well. So just wanted to give you a heads up on that. We got a lot of time to think about it, but that's coming. Any questions about equipment other than? Okay, next please. Buildings and ground staff update, or my departmental update here. our staff, our buildings have dealt with, my crew's dealt with multiple buildings with long-term absences of 25, 26. We have 3 full-time cleaner positions, and those are still very challenging. We've got 2 on the agenda tonight, full-time, and that leaves us with 3 still open. We're working as hard as we can to get those positions filled. It's a great thing that we have a really good sub contingency, and we continue to have one, and our subs are great. But we really are pushing to get this filled. And then in the past year, we reassigned one of our night shift cleaners to day shift position at the middle school to help with the bathroom cleaning during the course of the day. Next, please. This is our staff chart. We also have a new capital project construction consultant. Mike Sitzman's over at Arcade, done a great job for us. As you can see, everything else is pretty well full, except for our cleaner positions. We're just short a few. Next, please. Our interdepartmental projects that we're working on, there's way too many to talk about, but I wanted to just kind of hit on a few real quick. Some are deep cleaning, floor finishing district-wide. This is a huge undertaking, and our cleaners are doing a really great job, and the substitutes that help us have been great in this too. The Delavan auditorium floor was painted. That paint was peeling really bad. We found a good product in Arcade a few years ago to paint the auditorium floor, and it's bonded really well, and it hasn't caused that paint to flake. So we replicated that over in Delavan. The high school guys relocated the OT-PT room in the high school. In doing so, they basically did an in-house renovation. They put in cabinetry and a new sink. They did an absolutely awesome job. They kind of caught, before they got into the project down here in Mrs. O'Hara's old classroom, they took out some of her casework, her sink, moved it to this room, did an awesome job renovating that room. And the teacher that was relocated from that room got put into a new classroom, which is also, basically renovated by the high school guys. They did just an awesome job. Just wanted to mention that. Our middle school guys renovated the BOCES office. That was in desperate need of a spruce up. It's kind of been missed over the years. Middle school hallway painting. That's ongoing right now. That's a big job, and they're doing just an awesome job with it. The Arcade Annex building needed a paint job. That got done. Fence replacement and cleanup by the Arcade Free Library. We partnered with the Arcade Free Library. It was kind of dumpy behind the Arcade Library on the other side of our fence. We had an opportunity when we took the fence down for the playground upgrade to clean that up. And now they're creating areas out there for, the Arcade Free Library is to use for their programming, which is really great. Obviously, district-wide seal coating, classroom painting projects throughout each building, tons of painting going on, tons of work. At really all of the buildings, they're doing a ton of painting work. If you go back to the staff chart, I just got to throw some thank yous out to some people. Just a great job. The buildings look great. So this is what I was walking through the buildings, and you're running around and you're trying to get everything done, and you don't really take the time to look around the buildings as much. And it took a second when I was in the high school, and it hit me in the middle school too, that this building looks awesome. It just continues to get better, honestly. And when I went to the middle school, even yesterday, Jenna picked the colors and the paintwork that's being done in the lockers. And my crew has just done an absolute awesome job. And it starts with our leaders. It starts with, our head custodians, Tom at the middle school and his team. Obviously, Cody in Arcade is always doing things to make that building look great. We're lucky to have him. He's out for a little bit. And we've got Scott Zamowski, a guy we hired last year, who was just an absolute rock star of a hire. We just keep finding really good people. Billy here at the high school, taking over for Wally, who had been here for 30 years, and we haven't skipped a beat. It's just everywhere you look at with the crew here, Kevin and his crew, everything they do with our grounds and our fields and our snow removal. And, I got to throw a big shout out to Jesse Scripp over at Delavan, who's done just an awesome job for us this year. And unfortunately, there's way too many to mention. I wish I could, but You know, we gotta thank our full-time substitutes, our summer helpers who have been great. All this paint work we get done and all this building sprucing up we do. We've got a lot of PAA members who come to us and work for us for the summer. And these groups of folks, these ladies are just an awesome paint crew in every building. They're unbelievable. And what they're able to go through and get done is just really, really great. And our summer students too, can't forget them. We bring in, you know, between 6 and 10 students every year, and we've had really good luck, and they're really good kids and they work really hard. So I can't thank the whole team enough. Everyone has chipped in, you know, with short staff and with different challenges and with, you know, all sorts of craziness throughout the course of the school year, and everybody pulls in the same direction. So I'm lucky to work with them every day, and we are lucky to have them. So just wanted to end with that. If anybody has any questions, let me know. How about our students? Any questions?
It's all great for the school.
All right, thanks, everyone.
Thank you,
Nick.
very good presentation, thanks. Food service.
Well, good evening. Thanks for allowing me time tonight to share an update and give you an overview of what we did last year and what we've got coming up for this year. For those of you who might not know me, my name is Heidi Miles and I'm the food service director. This Pioneer Food Service Program isn't just about the budgets and nutrition. It's about providing communities, our community's children, reducing food insecurities and fueling students' minds and bodies. Our cafeterias aren't just a place to eat. They're a place to grow and connect and thrive. I personally believe that eating healthy and starting with healthy habits early in life, which is what we're committed to doing, is to foster a positive food environment where students can explore, learn, and develop lifelong skills for making nutritious choices. I'm happy to report that once again this year, Pioneer Schools will offer free breakfast and lunches for all students. This is due to our CEP status. So we're able to offer that again this year, which is a great opportunity for kids to get 2 meals a day while they're in school.
What does CEP stand for?
CEP, it's a community eligibility provision status. So basically there's, we use numbers of income levels in our community that determine that we are able to provide free meals for students. The funding comes from both state and federal government. The state and federal reimbursements account for the majority of our revenue in food service. Additional revenue comes from things like second meals that students might buy, staff meals, a la carte items like chips and ice cream. Or kids can buy additional, I would say snacks are probably the biggest thing, but they can buy beverages in the high school, water in all the schools, things like that. As well as catered functions that we do for our school functions. Revenue for the past school year, for the 25-26 school year, was $1.94 million. And our anticipated revenue for this school year is just over $2 million. The Pioneer Food Service Program is self-funded, and we have a report operates in the black. The following chart on the next screen here illustrates the students' meals that we serve. So last year, we served over 550,000 breakfast and lunches. And free meals for all students resulted in continued increases from the previous year, which you can see by the charts. Approximately 40% of the students at Pioneer eat breakfast that's provided at school, and about 65% eat lunches provided at school. Students choosing to eat lunches increased about 5% over last year, and we anticipate probably a 2 to 3% increase again this year. So more and more kids are eating at school. There's still kids that bring their lunches, but we do find that it's a combination of bringing lunches and eating. So, you know, we put out menus, and the days that they like, they choose to eat here. And a lot of schools, a lot of children eat every day. Nutritional standards, I don't know if you hear in the media sometimes about, you know, sugar levels, whole milk being available, things like that. So to align with the federal nutrition guidelines for the K-12 students, some modifications were made to our menus for this year. Breakfast and lunch menus include new things such as whole milk, which this is the first year that's been available for breakfast and lunches. Also, we can offer 2%, but we also have 1% skim and chocolate milk and strawberry if it's available. Yogurt parfaits, large entree salads are being offered now at all grade levels. So even the elementary kids, which surprisingly, they love the large entree salads. And yogurt parfaits are popular among all the students. Along with, we're also offering more local fruits and vegetables. New menus align with our commitment to reducing added food dyes. So I'm happy to report that we do not have food dyes in any of our menued items. And there are very few food dyes left in our a la carte items. Almost everything has been reformulated, or we stopped purchasing it and found something different to remove food dyes, a lot of preservatives. We're trying to minimize processed foods by going with some scratch cooking, and we're also offering students a wide variety of culinary options. Our menus are interactive, so they're on the Pioneer website. They're interactive with our software, which is called Link. It allows families to view the menus, but not only that, they can also view the nutritional value of the menus by item. So caregivers can view allergens, ingredients, nutritional data for every food item. It also helps our cafeteria managers and our school nurses to assist with carb counts for diabetics and with allergen alerts for all students. Did want to touch on our summer program. The summer sun meals fuel the minds and bodies of local families. They help with summer recreation meals, and summer school children are able to get breakfast and lunch. The meals program is coming to a close. So this is our final week. Monday is actually our last day of meal distribution. And I couldn't be prouder of the efforts that our staff has put into this. Their dedication to the community and making this successful is nothing short of amazing. Preparing and distributing 10,000 meals more than we did last year, essentially with only one additional person. So that's a 6-week program that we do over 34,000 meals, almost 35,000 meals. It's pretty intense. There's a lot of food moving in and out of buildings and being transported across the counties. Our food service staff has definitely rose to the occasion and ensured that everything was effective, that we maintain sanitation and also accommodated all allergies wherever those were present. I do want to touch on a couple of things that we're working on for this school year. We're working on many major improvements in the food service department. One thing is we're going to require all food service staff to complete a ServSafe accreditation by the end of 2027. This certificate course reflects the latest science and research and all the FDA code, food codes. And given the recent increase, as I'm sure you've heard in the media, food contamination outbreaks nationwide, I believe this training is a proactive investment in strengthening our food safety program and providing an additional layer of protection for both our children and our staff. This whole program will train about 30 employees. The whole ticket cost of this is under $5,000 and will definitely give us some very recognizable information. And it just shows the community, the health department, that we are, really concentrating on safety and keeping our children safe and keeping all of our food service department healthy. Looking forward, I just wanted to go over also our chart for our employees. We have some strategic expansions that we're hoping to accomplish to enhance the department's capabilities and programming, utilizing a federal grant and funding, which we're waiting to hear back on. We intend to introduce a specialized chef/farm to school coordinator to drive high quality sustainable nutritional initiatives. Furthermore, to support operational efficiency across the district, we plan to establish some assistant cook positions within each building. These vital roles will require advanced culinary training, strong supervisor supervisory competencies and rigorous knowledge of federal and state child nutrition regulations. So in the past, I guess this year, as of right now, we don't have this, this position here, this assistant cooks. So basically everyone in the department that's not a cook manager is under a food service helper, but they do perform some different duties. So we're looking at the assistant cook position, which those are the people that are actually cooking the food, and also they do a lot of the record keeping and record data for our production records. So just as a review, I've brought this up in the past, but our vision is to cultivate a school food service program that serves as a model of health and wellness, where every student has access to nourishing and appealing meals. Every food service worker is valued and empowered, and every meal is an opportunity for learning and connection. We aspire to create a food service program that not only nurtures bodies and minds, but also cultivates an appreciation for the transformative power of food in our lives and in our communities. Does anybody have questions or anything I can answer? If anytime you do, feel free to contact me. I always can help. I'm willing to help you out. Hopefully we'll have another great year with lots of kids eating meals, and as we wrap up the summer, we'll hopefully have a lot of families that I did want to mention, I forgot when I was on the summer program, that we did kind of calculate out with the meal distribution. So we have the meals that you can get like in the park. So the kids could go to one of the parks and maybe their rec program and they would have breakfast or lunch or possibly both. We also have meal pickups, which I'm sure most of you are aware of, but basically we provide 7 days of breakfast and lunches for families. There's 2 different pickup times. And we did kind of calculate out, and that those pickups, if families choose to participate, save families about $700 for the summer for each child. So, I think it's a really worthwhile program. We had our last distribution, we had over about 275 kids meals picked up. And we do that twice a week. So that's where that huge number of meals, the 35,000 comes from. And if you ever get a chance, we just have 2 pickups left. One's on Thursday evening here at the high school at 5 o'clock, and one's on Monday morning at the elementary school. But if you're in the area, feel free to stop by. They're kind of just fast. We put meals out. People come and pick them up. We get them in and out. They get whole milk. They get all sorts of breakfast and lunches and snacks. So they've got enough food for 7 meals or 7 days of meals, both breakfast and lunch. Thank you.
Yeah, it's awesome. And for both of you, please take our gratitude back to your staffs. We know and we see how hard they work. When we walk through the buildings, we have the same experience you do, Nick. And we say like, wow, these buildings look great. And I have a front row seat with kids of my own, and I know many other people do too, but also through a summer recreation program, to the hard work that the food service department does. It's incredible. And as much as we're grateful for your staffs, just know that we're equally as grateful to the 2 of you. We think that you're the top of your field, and we're so proud that you are sharing your giftedness with us here at Hope. So thanks for your time tonight and day in and day out. Okay, so moving right along. Superintendent report.
Yeah, my report, it's more like a summer recap, but likewise, I just want to echo Sean's words. Yeah, thanks Nick and Heidi, and First Student Nick. Thank you, curriculum, or Matt. Matt from First Student as well, for just giving a glimpse into the exceptional people and services within your departments, and exceptional departments and service. It all starts with exceptional leaders, and you guys truly are the top in the industry. And yeah, we're very grateful to have you guys on board here on the Pioneer team. So thanks very much. It's been a busy summer, as you've heard from some of these presentations, or humming along and getting ready for the start of school. Just a quick high-level recap as we move toward the start. Since the reorganizational meeting, we've had our administrative retreat. where the admin team had an opportunity to just ensure all the buildings and departments were all aligned and on the same page and ready for a smooth opening to the school year. Staff have been in throughout the summer for professional development. We have student programming going on. We have the new Educator Academy, which will be starting next week. Actually, I think I got the final tally today. I believe it's 21 new educators will be participating in that 3-day academy, just to get them introduced to Pioneer and off on the right foot for the start of the school year. Capital construction, Nick had kind of briefed everybody on just a lot of it going on, not just the construction, but the additional maintenance that's been going on throughout the district here as well. All sports will be beginning next week for varsity teams. JV and modified will be starting soon thereafterwards. Return of staff, August 31st. We have our opening day program here at the high school, and staff will then return to their buildings for building-based meetings and just preparing for the return of parents and students the following day on September 1st. So we have the orientation day. And then we will have another staff day, September 2nd, before the first regular day of schools. I think last year was the first year. We kind of created that little bit of a gap there. So it's not like a fire drill for everybody, for families to come to the orientation day. And then, they have to have their kids ready the very next morning for the buses. And same thing for our staff members as well. So they can kind of catch their breath a little bit before the students actually arrive. So that's worked out very well. But yeah, everybody's been working hard and we're ready and we're excited to welcome back staff and students here for the start of school within the next few weeks. That's it for my recap. Any questions?
Are we fully staffed?
We're in a great position from a staffing perspective. I think Matt's going to actually touch on that in his report, so I won't steal his thunder, but we're probably in as good of a position as we have been in a number of years.
Right.
Sounds good. Before I start, I've been asked a lot of questions on if I like my job. I've been here a year and I have about a million reasons, but two of those reasons are definitely Nick and Heidi. I feel like I could talk to any of your guys' crew and they're absolutely pleasant. They take pride in their work. They work their butts off and it really shows through. And I think a lot of that has to do with the strong leadership both of you guys represent and pass down to your guys. So thank you guys for everything you do. Moving on to the business report. There's a lot going on. It's a busy time right now for the business office. We started with external audit that will continue for the next month. We have some New York State reporting items, cleaning up safety items as well. Our next meeting's in September. We're getting everything ready for the next school year. So I've been working with athletics, exceptional ed. We had CPR training for all the administrators and the custodians. That was last week with John Dowd leading that. He had 4 different sessions, 4 hours apiece. We were all able to get in there and get certified for AED and CPR, which is pretty cool. We've had a lot of payroll and getting things switched over for the next year. So there's been a lot of work with that. Grants, taxes are starting to ramp up. So we're starting to take a proactive approach on that, getting that ready. Other than that, we've just been getting ready for the next school year. And we're looking forward to it. Looking forward to the students coming in a few weeks and go from there. Well, that's all I have.
Your turn.
Good evening, everyone. Start off my academic report for this month. I want to talk about professional development. The August PD week began this week and will continue throughout the remainder of the week. We have approximately 60 staff participating in a variety of professional learning opportunities, including student engagement, technology, and best practices in instruction. Next week, we'll welcome our new educators to the new Educator Academy. This is designed to help new staff become familiar with Pioneer, build relationships with colleagues, and develop the knowledge and connections needed for a successful start to the school year. Always highlighted by the district bus tour by our very own historian, Mr. Mason. We have 2 new staff in attendance tonight, so we will see them at New Educator. They're both participating in PD Week this week, but we'll see them at New Educator Academy next week as well. We have several instructional appointments included on tonight's board agenda. We appreciate the work of our administrators and district office in helping secure strong candidates. We experienced just a few last minute resignations over the past couple days. We're in good shape as far as staffing heading into the new school year. For those last minute resignations, we do have a plan to start the year with long-term subs, but hopefully we can fill those positions at the September 8th board meeting. The business office is preparing and submitting several state and federal grant applications, including the title grants and our UPK grant. These funds will support instructional programs, professional learning, student services, and our pre-K program throughout the upcoming school year. And with summer work winding down, staff are starting to prepare to welcome all our students and staff back for another successful year. Thank you.
Principal reports. With one and an interim.
So yeah, we're really excited to get back into the swing of things at the middle school, not to rush summer. I know Nick did a great job kind of capturing everything that's been going on in the middle school. You really need to see if those pictures don't do it justice. Even in our full foyer, the windows have been covered up with a mural. Our teacher Joe painted a Pioneer logo across the windows and how kids have their privacy swimming, and it looks great in that hallway. All the work being done, 5th and 6th grade wing did get to open up this week, so those teachers are in setting up their classrooms. We're hoping to get 7th and 8th grade in there shortly as soon as those windows and floors are done. I know Nick said there's too many people to name, and I know he's a lot under him, but I have to give a shout out to the crew that's been painting our hallways. That was kind of a last minute request by me, and they're pulling it off. So Amy McCohen, Justina Termer, our student summer worker, Leah Barber, Jody Jeanette, Laura Evans, and Corey Morgan. Like, they've been painting around the clock in there, plus everything that Tom, Nate, and Karen have been doing. It's looking great in there. Tonight's board approval is wrapping up the last of the hiring for the middle school. I do have one that is on our Zoom tonight. We just hired her last week, so prior commitment, she couldn't be here, but she is on Zoom. So we're happy to add in total this upcoming school year, 8 new members to our Pioneer Middle School family. A couple changes for us this year. The September 1st orientation, not only do we have to meet the staff and everything, our PBIS will be selling apparel, so we need some new Pioneer gear, stop by. Plus, Katie Morris in the library will be holding a Scholastic Book Fair. Oh, it's not paper, hang on. And then on September 2nd, we have our staff cookouts, which I would like to invite all of you guys to. So 11:30, you guys can just show up, and staff are all bringing in a dish to pass, and I will be cooking hot dogs. You guys, hey, if you want to swing by, come on in. There you go. And yeah, the middle school is looking great. And it's a lot of, you really need to come see what Joe did in that pool fire. It's amazing. And I don't know, it's the man, the myth, the legend, and
Yeah, we'll be, I'm sorry, just to kind of piggyback off of Jenna, we'll be visiting the middle school on October 13th. So we'll make sure we have some time afterwards to kind of tour around, check out Joe's work, lockers, and some of the other work that's occurred in the building there. Yeah, thanks, Jenna.
Thanks, exciting stuff.
And the man who can't quite get fully out the door, we just keep pulling him back in. And we appreciate that.
Yeah, I thought I'd start with like a funny little story. I recently had a dream that I was standing in this spot a few months ago, giving a speech that sounded like a final farewell. It was just a dream. Here I am again.
We have a white coffee cup laying around.
That's right. Yeah, thanks for once again bringing me back. New place, new location for me. I'm slowly getting used to the building. I take trips around it each morning, each afternoon. I get a little less lost each time, so that's good. It's been a fast week and a half, trying to learn quickly. Callie is phenomenal. I'm grateful for everything she does. She is a workaholic. I'm proactive and on top of everything and a great resource. So she was well along in terms of planning before I ever got there. But with her help, and the counselors have been in the last couple of weeks a lot, and I've been meeting with them for some planning things that we're working on and moving right along pretty quickly. They're closing in pretty close, being done with schedules. That's always probably the biggest task for any high school is schedules. I was the schedule guru at Hamburg for many, many years. That task is a challenge. And they're in great shape with that. So about ready to roll those out in about a week and a half. Maybe it's 2 weeks now. Should be in good shape. We are looking at, Jenna is always Mrs. Creativity and is always prepared for things. She has the flyer there for you. We are also intending to do the same thing for our staff opening day. So if you'd rather come over to the high school.
You're invited to ours.
Strongly encouraged. They did it last year, that's bold. So, yeah, you, same thing, we're planning eating around 11:30, so you're welcome to come over and visit with us. Same thing. If you want on your calendars now, October 2nd is homecoming. So that Friday, some planning is already on board for that, but if you want to plug that in and be ready for that, it's always a big event here in Pine Hill, so. Yeah, I think is all I have. Any questions?
Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you. See you soon.
Thanks, Mike.
Our final report, students.
To start off, our student report is just some excitements for the beginning of the next school year and some final touches to end off the summer. As fall sports are now in sight with the first practice days being released, with each sport starting varsity as early as August 17th, followed by JV and modified. We also have media day planned for fall sports to be held on August 28th. And many students and counselors are finished adjusting their schedules as they're planned to be rolled out in the next 2 weeks around August 24th.
And to continue off of Jake, marching band practice is back in swing as it is already back in session with their camp. Seniors are signing up to paint a parking spot on Wednesday, August 26th with a rain date of Thursday, August 27th. And to finish us off to get us excited for the upcoming school year and the conclusion of the summer, picture day is posted to be September 10th of the school year.
That's all we have in our report for the end of the
Yeah,
summer.
that's a lot considering school's not even in session. It's definitely a reminder that it's coming though, but like Ms. Driver said, what's the rush? We continue our meeting with our business, beginning with old business, just a simple motion to clean something up. This is a consideration of a motion upon the recommendation of the superintendent to approve the revised driver education and 5-hour course contracts for the 2026-2027 school year as posted. Is there a motion? Thank you, Amanda, in a second. Thanks, Kate. Any discussion? All in favor? 8-0. Agenda item 7.1, approval new business items. Consideration of a motion upon the recommendation of the superintendent to approve the following new business items A to T. Does anyone feel the need to remove anything from this consent agenda? Is there a motion? Jim, a second?
Second.
Or all in favor?
Discussion.
8-0. Oh, you have discussion?
I just wanted to know that Kane was a food donation in the class of 1976 to the amount of $7,206.70. Can you know what that was? Nothing on what that was?
It was in the memo.
I didn't read the memo.
Yeah,
Barely made it here.
sure. The class of 76, so they had a big reunion year this year, their 50th anniversary. And they kind of kicked it off with a tour of the high school building. And then they had a weekend full of activities, but one, the organizers wanted just to give back something, nice to the school district. So during the reunion, they took up a collection And they really wanted to collect money to contribute toward the cost of something that's, will be, is kind of prominent, could be, used by the community, visible. So they wanted to contribute money toward creating a pavilion or shelter out in the athletic stadium. And so they were able to raise about $7,700 like during the weekend, but they're still collecting donations, and they anticipate a second round of donations coming through probably within the next month or so. And then we'll look at potentially, so it would be off of the restroom building in the back, just kind of a simple design to create some shade and shelter, maybe to put some of the picnic tables under it and needs in our athletic stadium. So yeah, no, I think it's great. Tom Turk has really been the gentleman who's taken charge of that. Got a really nice turnout for the reunion there too. I'll tell you, people were blown away. Because I greeted them, it was June 19th, actually. It was Juneteenth, so the building was closed for the tour. And they just were really, impressed with the improvements we made, since they left. So, and I think they're excited about, contributing to make some enhancements out in the stadium there too.
Well, that's a great thing.
So,
That's
yeah.
awesome. That was really nice of them.
Yeah, thanks, Mark.
That's awesome.
Where did the stock appreciation thing come into play?
Because there's a couple of members that I think there's a tax benefit, so like to donate appreciated stock, then they don't have to pay any capital gain on that, and then they can also get the tax write-off as well. And we can't hold, so as soon as we get it, we would liquidate and then convert it into cash. But by then, if they were to cash it in first before they donated it, they would have to recognize capital gains on that. So by donating the actual appreciated stock, they can avoid that.
Good question.
Well, Tom's the stockbroker. That's why I asked that question.
Yeah.
And in case anyone else has any stock they want to give Pioneer, we just want you to know that we're open.
Happy to
we're
accept.
open
Good
to it.
use of it, right?
Agenda item 7.2 to adopt our district-wide school safety.
We didn't
We voted 8-0, didn't we?
Oh,
Kind of, we did.
Right now.
Okay, we can vote again. We can make it official. All in favor? 8-0.
All right.
Consideration of a motion upon the recommendation of the superintendent to adopt the district-wide school safety plan as presented on July 7th, 2026. I'll make the motion. Is there a second? Thank you, Kate. Any discussion? All in favor? 8-0. Agenda item 7.3. Adoption of the code of conduct, consideration of a motion upon the recommendation of the superintendent to adopt the code of conduct as presented on July 7th, 2026. Is there a motion? Corey, and second.
Second.
And any discussion? All in favor? 8-0. Agenda item 7.4, adoption of an exceptional special education plan. Consideration of a motion upon the recommendation of the superintendent to adopt the exceptional special education plan as presented on July 7th, 2026. Is there a motion? Second.
A second.
Any discussion? All in favor? 8-0. Agenda item 7.5, approve the UPK agreement. Consideration of a motion upon the recommendation of the superintendent to approve the agreement between Pioneer Central School District and Hope Lutheran Church Preschool to provide a pre-kindergarten program for the 2026-2027 school year. Is there a motion?
Open.
And a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? I abstain.
Can I ask a question?
Yep.
Is there ever any opportunity for your Hope UPK staff and Pioneer UPK staff to like have professional?
Yeah, they collaborate several times a year, and I know Julie was in for the PE week this week.
Awesome. That's fantastic.
Agenda item 8.1, committee updates. They didn't meet today, but are there any updates on policy or the other committees?
I just want to clarify, I believe in my notes, I shared that the next policy committee meeting will be September 9th. Yeah, Pat brought to my attention, it's actually the 8th, so that was a typo there. So Tuesday, the 8th at 4 PM, regular meeting spot.
I do have a question that kind of fits in with staff development and policy committee. We had talked about updating our AI policy several times. And you had said that there was some PD that folks are working on this summer with AI and that maybe the policy committee could sort of take advantage of that information that was gleaned from staff. Will we be able to have that at the next policy meeting?
Would that
Or
be ready
maybe
for
that's not
September or
even
October?
Policy.
Yeah, we did roll that out this summer.
Yeah.
It's on Friday, if anyone wants to attend.
Mhm.
Brooke Neiman is doing her keynote. Friday at 7:30 in the academic hall.
So we'll bring the feedback and information
Yeah.
that we have to the meeting in September.
I would add a comment. I found out on Wednesday that SED released a immigration citizenship policy. It's a new section 3201-B to the education law. And according to the presenter, there's a September 21st deadline on it. So it almost sounded similar to the situation last year at this time where we had the new cell phone restriction. This one might have to be fast tracked, and I guess SED released guidance on July 23rd.
Sorry, Brandon, it's a mandated policy requirement?
It's, yeah, I guess I don't know if it's a policy requirement, but it's a new section to the education law. So.
The cell phone law came through
The
legislation.
budget, right, I think that's this path
This is
too.
through state ed. I don't know.
I believe it's more of a commissioner's reg than it is a policy.
Okay.
We'll have to do a little more research. If you say that, Zoom gets it, and then the AI piece creates like this is what we said we would learn more about. So that's why I said that out loud, even though we all know that we have to learn more about that. Anyway.
Still waiting for AI to write that policy.
Anything else? Even, I don't know. Do you want to talk about the committee that, I know you guys ended our meeting last time.
The panel committee?
Yeah, do you want to share now or?
Sure, that'd be great. We're full steam ahead. Corey is working diligently on the wall. We made good headway on that. We're just cleaning up some of the verbiage and life, legacy, and vision, or life.
Vision,
Life, vision, legacy, three parts of Bill O'Connell's life that are to be touched on in the wall. The signage is going well with Nick. And he's going there.
In production, we don't have a delivery date unless something's occurred within the past day or two.
Let me look it up.
We have a tentative date of October 16th for a presentation and a ceremony for the dedication. And the family seems to work well with that date too. We'd like to have the plaque, I don't know what we're calling that, the
Tribute wall?
Memorial wall.
The tribute wall, up by then and the signage done by then. And the family's super excited. And go ahead, Corey, Amanda.
Yeah, no, I think you covered it, and it will be done. I mean, there's no point in doing a
tribute without it.
Corey's been working on that and he's got a local company, Hardcore, I believe, working on making that. I think it's gonna come out really well. And,
Yeah, I think design wise, there's a couple different local companies that are helping us out on putting it together, and it's just gonna have a really nice touch, and it's gonna.
Amanda was working on, basically writing write-ups about the three different areas of his life, and I did send them to the family at the beginning of the meeting, and they seem to be coming back with thumbs up, and cleaned it up a little bit, and we got that. And we're moving right along, everybody's super excited.
Yeah, and I'll pull together an itinerary for the celebration, the dedication. And we do want, certainly we want the O'Connell family, friends of the family. If we have staff members, and we want to try to get the students to participate in the ceremony as well. So we'll kind of hash out some of those details over the next couple of weeks, and hopefully kind of share that out at the next meeting.
Thank you.
Do you have any contact with Karen McGanwell, who used to be the principal over there? I wonder if she's aware of all this. I bet she'd love to be there.
Yeah,
They work really close together.
Yeah, if you know
She
of
is
anybody,
local.
get the word out.
Yeah, for
For
sure.
I think there's a graduating class too, maybe years, I'm not sure, that are planning on somewhat of a reunion at the same time, so they can attend. So,
Yeah, and even we have a list of, Corey just said, we have a list of quotes from people, former staff members, that kind of thing. I'd like to make sure those people get invited and they know that it's happening, and maybe even have one of them speak at some point.
So it's not for a list, I have one.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, agenda item 9.1, the most exciting agenda item that we get to vote on this evening, the approval of personnel instructional items. This is the consideration of a motion upon the recommendation of the superintendent to approve the following instructional personnel items A to T. Does anyone feel the need to remove anything from this consent agenda? Is there a motion? Second. Thank you, Mark. All in favor? 8-0. Bonjour. How'd I do?
Very good.
Welcome, Lori, our new French teacher. Very exciting. And Megan as well, with the most polite baby we have ever had attend a board meeting in the history of Pioneer. Very, very cool. And a host of other new hires as well. We're very, very grateful that you're here, and good luck at New Educator Academy.
we appreciate it. Thank you.
Mhm.
Tenure appointment. Agenda item 9.2, consideration of a motion upon the recommendation of the superintendent to appoint Allison Barnes for certification status as students with disabilities 7 to 12 generalist professional to tenure in the tenure area of general special education effective August 15th, 2026. Is there a motion? Second?
Second.
Thanks, Cory. All in favor? 8-0.
Yep. Allison is here. Congratulations.
Allison. Yeah. Definitely. Agenda item 10.1, approval non-instructional items. Consideration of a motion upon the recommendation of the superintendent to approve the following personnel non-instructional items A to Q. Does anyone feel the need to remove anything? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor? 8-0. Agenda item 10.2, teaching assistant tenure appointment. Consideration of a motion upon the recommendation of the superintendent, Rebecca Darabrandt, whose certification status as teaching assistant, is hereby appointed to tenure in the teaching assistant tenure area commencing September 10th, 2026. Is there a motion? Second.
Second.
Okay. All in favor? 8-0. And another tenure appointment, consideration of a motion upon the recommendation of the superintendent. Pamela Flanagan, whose certification status as teaching assistant, is hereby appointed to tenure in the teaching assistant tenure area commencing August 29th, 2026. Is there a motion? Thank you. I'll second. All in favor? 8-0. Pam, congratulations. That brings us to our work session. Not a great deal on our agenda, but a couple of things to lift up. First thing to note, this is not a work session item. But in September, we only have one meeting, and that's on the 8th. We're gonna take our picture. And then what we did last year was had a sort of forum day as our second meeting in September. That's currently scheduled for the 22nd. We said we would, since last year was the first year we ever did it, we said we would kind of revisit how we want to do that format this time around, in terms of what we learned and what we could do better. And so that's what we'll just spend a couple of minutes discussing right now. I think in particular, one of the things we are considering is starting with an open forum for teachers and staff at 6, since their concerns and questions might be different for the board than community members at 7. So kind of have a time with our teachers and staff at 6, and then cap that. And when they leave, have an open forum for community members to come and meet us at 7 as well. Does anybody have any thoughts?
Sounds good.
You go with that.
Everybody good with that? Okay. Well, we'll plan on 6 with teachers and staff, and we'll plan on 7 with the open community, and we'll work out the format and share that out on September 8th when we meet the 22nd.
Are we recording it?
That's a good question. Well, I mean, I think that the teachers and staff could probably just be unrecorded, but we could certainly record the community one. That's just I'm only saying that. I don't have
Any reason? I just think we need to communicate the time well in advance, like save the date, because I think last time some people just found out like that night that it was happening, even community members, so needs to be communicated well in advance. I think there was an assumption it was, but it was like online or something. That's my only input.
For sure, we'll get ahead of it. Does anybody have thoughts about Mark's question?
I prefer we record
For it? I know that, well, what we could do is Zoom. We could Zoom the teacher portion. And not post it publicly, but like the unions currently do in certain formats. Because that conversation is directed toward a targeted audience and not just for the general public. And then the other one could be an open invitation. So only teachers would get the teacher one. Does that give you anxiety?
I like recording things.
Well, it would be recorded. It just wouldn't
Zoom,
be.
it would be.
But just like our board.
Publicly broadcasted.
I don't necessarily feel like it has to be separate.
You want to do it all together?
It doesn't bother me.
I mean, we aren't making any decisions. We aren't voting on anything. I mean, I would think most of our staff understands the questions we could address and maybe the questions that are not our purview, at least I would hope. So I don't necessarily understand separating it.
Well, can we ask some of our staff people who are here if they think it would be at all beneficial to separate or do it all together. Do you have thoughts?
Either way makes it.
Oh.
I think
I'm sorry, Matt, go ahead.
if it's not recorded, you may get more active participants.
It's both.
Will they be able to interact on Zoom? Because right now our Zoom participants can't really interact with us. Could they interact if they, I mean, let's say they have a young baby in their home and they can't really
It's a good question.
come back, you know what I mean? I think we'd get better attendance and better participation if they could interact through Zoom.
Yeah. I'll
That
defer
many
to-
people.
They could activate, they could chat, or if they wanted to request to turn on their mic or camera, they could do that.
Yeah,
Because the intent is to kind of be a dialogue, right, back and forth.
right.
Yeah, we can have that, I can have that set so they can turn on their video and, audio.
Would there be a limit though as to how many people could log on potentially?
No, there's everything would be in Zoom.
Okay.
Participants.
They would just get in a queue if they wanted to speak or bring it to your, you know,
Yeah, I could.
bring it to your attention.
They could either raise their hand in Zoom, or they could just chat to me and say, hey, I wanna, speak, and then I can request them to turn the video and audio on, or just their audio if they want their camera. Either would be fine. There's a raise hand feature that like dings them on my screen that says they're one without.
Would they have to sign some sort of waiver saying, okay, I'm aware that I'm being recorded or any of that? That's what I figured, yeah. If you're logging in and asking a question.
I don't want to use the word consensus, but what I'm hearing is just set the date, make it open, and do it on Zoom in addition to doing it in person. Everyone comfortable with
I
that?
think that'd be,
Great.
I think that the other thing Pat said about the date is widely publicized and gives people enough time. I also think we need to establish a format and make that very well known, because I think that creates some guardrails.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that we need some guardrails. So I think we need to establish a format and put that out as well. Because is it just gonna be come up to a mic and ask a question? Is it going to be submit a question ahead of time?
On a personal level, I think the more open the dialogue is, the better. However, I want to acknowledge the tension that we have a policy that prevents any one of us from being able to represent the board with our own comments. And so the danger in someone asking us a question and one of us spouting off an answer is that that one person may misrepresent what we as a board collectively feel. And so we do have to be careful of both of those things. And how do we have an open forum and at the same time, make sure that our responses that are official and not that, but
Yeah.
Our response is official. I mean, as we speak, we don't speak for the board.
right, I think we have to be clear about that kind of stuff.
Just as a reminder, last year we solicited questions in advance. It was pretty thin response. We had to kind of, add to them, I guess. Yeah, we had some help with some of the administrative staff and others to to kind of round out the questions. That's an option, I guess, as well, or if you wanted a little more spontaneous, I guess.
While I understand and encourage open dialogue, what I do not wish for is a circus. That's what I'll say. And without guardrails and without a format, it can turn into a circus really fast. And I don't want to be a part of that.
Okay.
I think if we have some topics that we generally know that the community wants to ask us about, we can be better prepared with answers too and responses that may be more specific than it would otherwise. I don't know.
I think we can set some guardrails in terms of even just monitoring our own, like, hey, each of us won't take more than 60 seconds to answer a question. That kind of thing, so that it doesn't become.
And I think there's a certain point where dialogue is a question and an answer and doesn't necessarily turn into a conversation. You understand what I'm saying? Because I think that is a very slippery slope for everyone. So dialogue is a two-way street, so I'm not even sure that that's the right word, because it's a question and an answer. And if that's the format, then that's the format, but
I think the biggest challenge will be getting people to show up and people to actually ask questions.
Yeah.
Maybe one question, one answer, move on to the next person type of thing. We'll give some.
We'll make some we'll try to create some structure that we have a starting point for September 8th. And then we'll go from there at our next meeting, but
could we give the general public like ideas of like questions, like topics to discuss?
Or certainly, yeah.
And but also in the same breath, let them know what we really are limited.
yeah, and we can take even the talking points from the policy about public expression and say, like, you can't talk about specific employees, you cannot talk about specific individuals, you may not.
Right.
Yeah,
Those should really be the guardrails, right?
Right.
So giving them the education prior to the meeting and saying, this is what we're allowed to discuss versus this is not what
Yeah.
we can.
That way somebody doesn't show up.
Yeah.
Could there be a laptop set up in the foyer of each building for orientation day where parents can swing by and say, here's a question I have about Pioneer or my building specifically, or something that I'd like the board to address? And then you guys can take those questions, whoever, and filter out the ones that are inappropriate or illegal for that matter. You know, I just think it'd be cool to have people could be encouraged to send their questions that way.
oh, we could, it would be, and I've done the parent orientation a lot. Like, there's so many papers you get that day.
Right.
But we could easily put a half a page paper in there that says, like, do you have any questions for the board? And most of them wouldn't send it back, but they might. How easy would that be?
Well, even a link on social media, that you click on, it takes you to the
Sure.
survey report.
I think that's what we did last.
Yeah, that's what we did last year.
We didn't have luck with that.
You don't have a lot of luck with parents filling stuff.
I know.
Orientation.
All right, we'll work on the mechanism for receiving feedback ahead of time.
Something creative.
We'll try to create a starting point for the rules of the road for the conversation itself. And we'll all remain open to the idea that it's going to be more of a open forum than speeches.
And the questions should be directed for the entire board, right? Like, we're not gonna allow
Yeah.
people to say, I wanna ask my question.
Sure.
My question, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any way we can promote it through the last week of the summer meals. You touch a lot of families there too, people. They get something to read while they're having their snack.
If somebody could draft something, we can try to get it in the hands of. We have a distribution on Thursday and Monday.
Yeah, you could probably get together like a flyer.
That'd be, yeah, it's tight.
Yeah.
We're all committed to getting the word out faster and
Yeah.
better than years past.
Yeah, it was out on social
We'll see.
media. I know my understanding is that the union leaders had sent invites out to their members as well. But yeah, the more, the better, I guess. We'll see what other ways we could potentially reach out to get some stronger participation.
Yeah, and we want stronger participation because we all feel a great desire to represent our community's interests and values. And the best way for us to do that is to hear from, you know, our students, our teachers, our families, and our community members. So that's our only drive for this event, is to better understand the community that we were put in this position to serve. Okay,
What was the date on that again? Are you targeting a certain date?
September 22nd.
22nd.
Have we looked at the athletic calendar, I think? What day of the week is that?
It's the Tuesday. It's kind of why we had it that way, but that's a good question too. We can change that. I just wanted to note that our board clerk did send out an invitation to the School Board Association Conference that's happening in Buffalo in October, whether you're going to house at it or commute to it. If you want to be a part of the School Board Association Conference, that deadline, I'm sure, is coming.
Well, it just opened up today.
Oh, it opened up today. What do I know?
Yeah, I think
I'm
the
going.
early bird registration, I think typically runs for what, a couple weeks maybe?
Yeah, I think it's like September, I want to say September though.
So you have plenty of time.
Yeah, let me know. Well, especially rooms, they plan on staying there. Those are going.
You get out of it from, and others of you who have been, you know this, you get out of it what you put into it. So if you,
It's in the middle of the week this year, is it not?
It's Thursday through Saturday.
It is Thursday through Saturday?
22nd.
Is anyone planning to attend?
I'm going.
I'm gonna go.
Probably, likely.
Can you register for, I can't do Thursday, and Friday. So
Um,
it's just one.
Thursday, I
It's
think
all
is
or
just the
nothing.
pre-legal
Yeah,
conference. I think Thursday is just the pre-legal conference, so it's a Friday, Saturday.
yeah, I think there's the pre-conference on Thursday, maybe a keynote speaker, but that would be like in the evening, I think, on Thursday, to kind of launch it. And then, so it would be, primarily Friday.
Friday and a half day Saturday.
Yeah.
Can we just register for the 2 days, or do we have to?
It's just one.
One registration.
Just, okay, so it doesn't, okay.
I mean, you know, maybe
Yeah,
you can't attend
right.
Thursday, just Friday, Saturday. That, the majority of the stuff, like I said, is
Is
Friday.
Friday,
And then Saturday half day. But just make sure whoever looks at the calendar and wants to go, email me and I will get you registered as they come in, just so we can get them in there. And let me know if you want a room or you're just gonna get it back and forth. People are gonna purple or whatever.
Anything else for discussion? In that case, we have this baby in bed. There's a handful of dates, most of which involve the return to school for staff and students. There's a fundraiser requests that have been approved, attached, and there's no one who has signed up for public comments. We do have an executive session this evening to follow up on our recent board retreat. This is the consideration of a motion to enter that executive session at 7:28 PM. Is there a motion? Yeah, and a second? Second. Thank you. All in favor? It's it. Thank you all.